Saquon Barkley's 3-touchdown performance was nothing short of electric as the Eagles fought terrible field conditions and bad turnovers by Jalen Hurts to still best Jordan Love and the Packers. But Saquon wasn't the only star on the field as Quinyon Mitchell and Zack Baun, boy, they flashed in some big ways. Plus, A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith already looking mid-season form, and here why Cooper DeJean, he's going to be needed really quickly. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Eagles versus Packers had everything we could have hoped for. Big plays, big stars, big turnovers, and even a massive nail-biting finish that went down to the end. But if you go back to pregame, you might have been focused on, say, Saquon Barkley taking the field for the first time at Corinthian Stadium in 26 for the Birds. But did you miss this photo of Jalen Hurts and his girlfriend Bree Burrows kissing before kickoff? Well, look a little closer. That's quite the rock on her ring finger. Now, the couple hasn't said anything on social media, classic Jalen Hurts, but drop a like for our boy Jalen quietly getting engaged sometime the past couple of months. Oh, and also be sure to text your Giants-loving fans today. Check in on them. They're probably pretty sick this morning, especially if you're a Giants owner, John Mara.
I have a tough time sleeping if Saquon goes to Philadelphia, I'll tell you that.
Now, the other interesting bit of news that dropped pregame was rookie pass rusher Jalyx Hunt being a healthy scratch. Definitely a head scratcher, no pun intended, but not playing your third-round draft pick in the opening game is confusing. Maybe he's still banged up. Maybe there's something else going on with the numbers of the team, but still, something to keep an eye on. His debut has been delayed. Also, quickly, if you want to go to Eagles versus Falcons, here is your official chance. I have 2 tickets to the Birds home opener coming up next Monday night, and I'm going to give them to one subscriber who likes the video and comments Saquon down below in the comments section. I'll announce the winner on Monday's show. Be sure that you can actually go to the game if you're going to comment Saquon. If you live in some foreign country, you're not going to be able to fly to Philadelphia, just don't comment Saquon. Still, though, winner will be picked and announced on Monday's show. Best of luck. Now, the game got started with Jordan Love finding Romeo Doubs for a big first down. Note Avonte Maddox in coverage. More on that later. But then how about the first big test for rookie cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, stride for stride, with the Packers' best receiver Christian Watson. Oh, and added in some smack talk after the play. Quinyon was absolutely incredible last night. So calm, so poised, amazing movement. Coming out of Toledo and putting on that performance in that game on that stage, it's nothing short of impressive. And clearly, I wasn't the only one who noticed.
Q, just from the beginning, what we knew about him from the beginning coming out of Toledo, and then also the way he's handled all training camp and OTAs, he's not phased. Like, he's going against A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. Those are 2 of the best receivers in the NFL, 2 of the top receivers in the NFL. I thought he handled it well. You know, he got a pass interference at one point, but they tried to throw deep on him early on in the game, and he made a big play. And you know, that's something I love about Q is his competitiveness.
Now, the offensive side of the ball was not as impressive early. How about the worst start possible? This terrible decision by Jalen Hurts. It's 3rd and 15. What are you thinking here, throwing it just up in the middle of the field for an easy interception from Xavier McKinney? Just cannot make that throw in your own territory, man. Interesting point on Hurts' night really quickly. He was amazing when apparently the Birds used motion, and when they didn't, he was pretty bad. Also, apparently, minus that first pick, he was really good in the pocket for these numbers, but when scrambling around, he also wasn't that great. I hope these throws are kind of one-offs and something that's not going to continue going forward, but definitely some interesting stats to go along with QB1. Still, though, despite the defense holding the Packers to a field goal, credit them for that one, Hurts would turn the ball over yet again on the next drive. Some sort of miscommunication here. Not sure if it's the quarterback's fault or Cam Jurgens' fault, but either way, the Packers were back in the Birds' red zone very quickly. I'm sure we'll see a lot of people say it's rust. You didn't play your starters during the preseason, which maybe, although as we'll see, the offense did get rolling. Just stop with the turnovers, guys. This team can go very, very far, and they're going to score a ton of points. They did last night, but turnovers are going to be the Achilles heel. Cannot have those rear their ugly head yet again in 2024. Which QB1, to his credit, did admit post-game and tried to assure fans this was a one-off. It's not going to happen again.
I said it earlier on the field, talking about the turnover battle and how important that is, and it really doesn't happen the way that it happened today. As many balls that were on the ground and as many turnovers as I had, finding a way to win the game, and so those are things that I'll learn from, and then we'll learn from and address those things. But I think in the end, you got to have a short-term memory. Have a short-term memory, process everything that happens, but, hey, move on. You know, move on and play the next play because your guys next to you are needing you. And I feel like every individual did that tonight, both sides of the ball and on special teams, and even with some of those calls and the approach we had in them, you can see it. So we're just building. We're going to continue to build.
Now again, the defense did get a massive stop. Credit Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis for making plays in the red zone and holding the Packers to another field goal. Absolutely massive. Quickly though on Dean, he was really good last night. I had my doubts. Credit to 17, he was flying around out there and made a ton of plays. Now on the Birds' third drive, everyone started to settle down. Hurts would work the offense right down the field. Saquon chipped off his first big run. That was incredible. And then how about this touchdown here? Beautifully designed route. The wheel route from Saquon Barkley into the end zone. The toss, the catch, everything here was absolutely perfect. Throwing the play design here, the orbit motion, clearing out all the safeties and corners, and again, a better throw from Jalen Hurts to Saquon Barkley about as quickly as you can erase a bad start as possible. Fantastic job by this offense. Now, the Birds defense would struggle on the next drive, giving up some big runs, including this end around to Jalen Reed, who absolutely torched the Eagles right here, 33 yards on the ground for the Packers' first touchdown. But then their two-point attempt would fail as the D-line would stiffen, hold Green Bay just to 6 instead of 8. That was a critical moment early in this game. And of course, now Hurts was starting to heat up, hitting A.J. Brown and then hitting DeVonta Smith and quickly getting the Birds inside the red zone. And then Giants fans look away. How about the jump cut here by Saquon Barkley for his first rushing touchdown in Philadelphia? Becton makes a massive hole. Again, the jump cut, the burst here. Any doubts about Saquon Barkley after that touchdown run? I think they've all been settled. I have no words for how incredible 26 was last night, but his quarterback did. He said it was nothing short of impressive.
I didn't have any expectations. I know he's a great player, and he had a hell of a game tonight. It's exciting to watch him play, and I'm happy that he's on our side. Just gonna keep pressing forward. But what a debut for him.
Saquon just puts the Eagles offense on a completely different level. Nothing against Gainwell, nothing against DeAndre Swift. They were good running backs, but 26, healthy, explosive, this offensive line, this offense, I cannot believe how good he was last night. And yet apparently Saquon humbly said, I might say, in his postgame press conference, I'm not even a top 3 threat in this Eagle offense.
One, you got to give credit to the offensive line. It starts with the offensive line and Jalen making the right reads and putting us in the right positions. The O-line setting me up, making me look better than I actually am. And it doesn't hurt to have Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith. I'm probably on a scouting report, I'm probably not even top 3 you got to worry about. So it makes my job a lot easier. And Kellen does a really good job putting in a position to be special. And I'm just happy to be here and, started off right. Just like I said, there's so much I'm continuing to play back in my mind that I could have done better on. But that's the beauty of the game. You learn from it, you move on, and you get ready for next week and get back to Philly and get ready for Atlanta on Monday night.
Now again, the Packers would respond. Another touchdown to Jalen Reed, this time the passing variety. I've seen people say C.J. Gardner-Johnson missed a tackle here, which, yes, he did, but he slips right there at the end, causing the big play to happen, which, if you watched last night, was happening all night long. The field at Corinthians Arena was absolutely horrific. One of the worst I think I've ever seen, even worse than the field in Super Bowl 57. And it wasn't just us, the fans, noticing. Imagine what the players were thinking. They had some choice words in their post-game press conference to the Eagle media.
Certain grasses are, in the U.S., they're the same. It comes with the game of football. You can't pick and choose what grass you play on. It wasn't that bad. We changed cleats and, you make the most of it. And I think, some of us did. I know I did after the first drive. And, at the end of the day, we still had to play football because they had to play on the same grass as well. So, it wasn't really a complaint for me, So
I will say it was different than what we're used to, but, the guys who were slipping, including myself, on the first 3 plays, and especially the first one, I just didn't handle it in the right way. I went out and warmed up, and I decided to not go with studs because I felt comfortable enough, but it's different than warming up and going full speed. And after the first drive, I put my studs in, got the first run. I was kind of a little hesitant just to get a feel for it, but after that, I think it was pretty okay.
I'm not going to use those words, but y'all saw out there that it was kind of rough to get traction. Definitely challenging on that field. It's not the type of field we're used to playing on. We've had that type of field before. But, they had to play on it as well. And so, I'm just happy that we found a way to to figure it out as a team and, overcome it.
It's a really bad look for the NFL. It's honestly quite embarrassing. I cannot get over how bad that field was last night. Again, both teams had a play on it. It was technically an even field in the end. But if you're Roger Goodell, I get wanting to expand the game, go to Brazil, go to London, Germany, but make sure the field is good. Soccer fields turning into NFL fields, it never really works. You're going to get somebody seriously injured. Thankfully, the Eagles were fine. I just cannot get over how bad that field was. Now later, the Birds offense on that bad field would respond. How about a near perfect 4-minute drive to end the half as Jalen continued to dice up the Packer defense, converting on this 4th down and 3 to DeVonta Smith, and yes, having to settle for a field goal to end the first half 19-17, but still a really great, essentially 4-minute drive to end the half. Now something missing from last season was explosive plays, and the Birds, well, they hit on their first big one on this double move by A.J. Brown to start the third quarter on Jaire Alexander. Again, I don't know how you stop this offense. You have all these weapons. Saquon kills you in the first half. AJ, DeVonta, they kill you in the second half. What a double move here from number 11, and I just don't know what defenses are going to do going forward. Now, the Packers' next drive would survive this lucky fumble by Josh Jacobs. Man, big opportunity missed right there. And then match Brown's touchdown with this slant to Christian Watson, again over Avonte Maddox. And I don't want to rip Maddox too much. He wasn't awful last night, but he was clearly the worst Eagles DB on the field for really the entire game. And I think once Cooper DeJean is more up to speed, he's just coming off that injury, and he feels more comfortable, those reps to Avonte Maddox are going to start going to DeJean very, very quickly. Now, the Birds would punt quickly, down 2, and then how about Reed Blankenship, though, turning the game over, creating this incredible diving interception to get the Birds' ball right back. We didn't hear much from the Ghost during training camp, but reporters assured us he was looking just fine and would be the starter. This interception, though, is why Reed is so good. Diagnosing the route, jumping it, making the play, and a crucial interception for the Birds. Again, credit Vic Fangio's defense. They were up and down last night. They had great moments. They had bad moments, but bend but don't break, and creating turnovers, something they did not do at all last year. I think Fangio, again, the first look at this defense overall is a thumbs up for me. Now, of course, 3 Barkley runs later, and the Birds running back would get shoved into the end zone yet again, giving him a hat trick. 3 touchdowns in his opening debut with the Birds. Something apparently no other Eagle has done in their actual debut, except for Terrell Owens over 20 years ago. Not bad company to be in. Now, again, the Eagle defense would bend some more to end the third quarter, but not break, and they were rewarded with a missed field goal that would come back to definitely haunt the Packers. Oh, and then Saquon, again, back on offense. How about breaking another big one here? I'm telling you, this is the best Eagles running back we have had since LeSean McCoy, and he might look even better than 25 did. But then, again, in the red zone, Jalen, what are you doing? Rolling to your right, throwing across your body, interception in the end zone. Just throw it away and take the points, man. That turnover could have cost the Eagles the game right there. I mean, Jordan Love goes down, scores, the Eagles offense then stutters. This game is over, and we're having a very different conversation this morning. Again, Jalen wasn't bad last night. He had some incredible drives, as we'll see, but turnovers just cannot keep rearing their ugly heads. You've got to get rid of those as soon as possible. That was the worst part of last night. But here's to hoping DeVonta Smith was right in his postgame presser that they're going to clean things up. It's easy mistakes, and they will continue to rally behind their QB1.
Nah, it was just us not executing. What it was us going out there, not running the right routes or something, not getting to the right play calls, just not executing. It had nothing to do with them. It was all of us. That's a big part of the game. No game is going to be perfect. You're going to have mistakes, so it's all about how you respond once you make those mistakes.
Who were the main leaders who were keeping you guys?
Jalen, he's the captain of the ship. Everybody follows him. Everybody rallies around him. So whatever he says, we're right there with him.
Now, thankfully, again, the Eagle defense gave up some yards, yes, but on Green Bay's next possession, when it mattered in the red zone, they held the Packers yet again and forced a chip shot field goal. Now, with 7 minutes left in a 2-point game, the offense, they needed a drive that would eat up clock and also result in points. And boy, did QB1 and Jalen Hurts, despite the turnover on the previous drive, answer the call. Running with his legs. How about the conversion here, lowering the shoulder on a massive 2nd down and 8 effort? Then DeVonta Smith, he was really, really good on this final drive, pinballing his way, bouncing off Packer defenders, another big first down, chewing up clock and Packer timeouts. Still, though, 2 plays later, 3rd down and goal. How about messing up the tush push here? Thankfully, Saquon dives on it to save the day, and you kick a field goal to go up 5. But the brotherly shove is clearly a work in progress. I guess Jason Kelce, shocker, was a really important factor in the brotherly shove being virtually automatic last year. I would have liked just giving the ball to Saquon and letting him run in the end zone on 3rd and goal. A touchdown virtually seals the game, but again, they still marched down there. They got the points. In the end, it really doesn't matter. Now, Jordan Love would make things interesting, getting the Packers quickly into Hail Mary range, but then, man, I hate to see this here. Ugly injury, the tackle by Jalen Carter. Some people are saying that Jalen Carter, this was a dirty play. I don't see this as a dirty play. It's just an unlucky play for the Packers QB1. As of filming this morning, we still don't know Love's status. Definitely prayers up to him. I'm hoping it's not a season-ending injury and just a couple of weeks with a sprain of some sort. Still, though, one more play. Malik Willis would come in for the Hail Mary, but Zack Baun would shut it down real quick. You see the love there from, of course, his teammate Dallas Goedert, and the game was over. Birds, take a breath, would win 34-29. Also, credit to Zack Baun for a second here. He led the team with 15 total tackles and 2 sacks. Like, he was the best player on defense all night long, and I could not have been more impressed with 53's debut. Now, overall, it wasn't a perfect game, right? But still, Jordan Love, only 17 of 34, less than 300 yards passing. Josh Jacobs, 84 yards on the ground. The Birds defense, I think, led by Baun and Quinyon Mitchell, showed a ton of potential, again, on a really tough field to tackle on. Offensively, Saquon, I mean, what do you want me to say? Legit as possible. Over 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He is going to be an absolute nightmare if he can stay healthy all season long. Same goes for AJ and Smitty. They combined for 200 yards receiving. Kellen Moore's new offense, very creative, opening up some great routes. He was really, really in his bag. Take those turnovers away, and Jalen Hurts has an incredible night. Again, turnovers are really bad, and they actually happen, and so we have to at least acknowledge them, but I think we saw enough good Jalen Hurts to not panic at all. I'm sure some of you will in the comments section, but overall, that 7-minute drive to actually end the game was nothing short of special.
Like that 4-minute drive that we had, that drive started with what, eight some minutes left to go in the game, and we gave him the ball back with 27 seconds. Why? Because Jalen and DeVonta connected on some huge plays. That's tough football. 4-minute football is tough football. And our guys really responded, and to give them back. And they were positioned to throw a Hail Mary at the end of the game, but our guys really responded. That 4-minute football, when things haven't been going great, I thought he did some really good things and some clutch moments. So I thought there's going to be plays he wants back, but he had some really good moments as well.
All in all, it's an impressive win for the Eagles. To fly 10 hours down to Brazil, terrible field conditions against what many people think is a Super Bowl caliber roster in Green Bay, and to win despite 3 turnovers it's impressive. And I know it's early here. I'm still reacting. I barely slept last night, and now we're jumping on for the recap. And so I'm sure we'll have plenty more thoughts as the days and weeks go on. But this offense, this defense, it's at least better than last year. And the potential that this offense has, I think, is absolutely through the roof. I'm going to read all your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Birds win. Comment Saquon. One of you guys is going to get 2 tickets to next Monday's home opener. That's going to be a bunch of fun. I'm Thomas Mott. Early but excited on a Saturday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.